Welcome into another season of Velocity Online Racing IndyCar action here on the Captain Esports Network, broadcasting on the VOR and YouTube channel. As we welcome you in tonight, I am the captain. As we hopefully you are enjoying your Saturday evening. Forgive me as I do that real quickly as we get ready to do some racing. The champ is here tonight, and of course he is on the pole again this evening from the Virtual Auto Club Speedway. It's race number 1, as Alex Van de Sant will be on the pole alongside Nicholas Sudik. And forgive me as we're working on a couple of graphic deals. We'll get that launched here in just a second, so you'll be able to see where and who is in the lineup and so on and so forth. This evening we'll also go over everything you need to know tonight when it comes to the Auto Club Speedway. But tonight it's all about 150 laps and 300 miles. As the pace car pulls off. And here we go. Sudik leading them to the green flag. Down into turn 3 and 4 already. Shane Coogan going to lead them off of 4. And the 29 car is going to lead lap 1. As the draft, well, maybe not. Sudik's going to lead lap 1. He jumps him there on the inside lane. As you see, already at 29, looking real sporty. He's one of the better oval drivers. One of the better drivers in this series. Does a great job. If only his luck would change a little bit, you could see Shane Coogan go to victory lane in this series very easily. There's 2 laps in the books already. Again, we'll get the logos and everything up on the screen as you're watching the Apex Sage Coaching IndyCar Series. Oh, got my screen. Again, sorry about that, guys. These top 2, I think, trying to pull the old switcheroo. You see a lot of this in IndyCar racing where they almost, I call it the Mario Kart tandem, where you they get out there and they start Mario Karting with each other, swapping out the lead. And before you know it, they pull away from the pack with the way the draft runs. But you see it is daylight. Obviously, the sun's starting to set. That draft always playing a major role in this series. And especially on these tracks like Auto Club and Michigan, Chicagoland, tracks like that. Of course, last season it was the Alex Van de Sant show going back-to-back and scoring the championship. One of the big questions going to be this series. Can he go 3 in a row? Got some stiff competition here in the series. That doesn't look right at all. There you go. Dakota DeMay has now worked his way up to the front here, 8 laps in. Shane Coogan up to second. Sadiq Van de Sant, Cohen Evans now up to the top 5. Geisler, and there's Pronk, the rookie. Jeremy Pronk running up there in the 8th position right now. Craig Forsyth back here racing. Mitchell Riggs, who had some ups and downs in his season. But 24 cars starting tonight in this 300-miler. We'll talk about the schedule and all that coming up here momentarily. You hear the shifting going on in the cars. And one car on pit road already, Gary Godso. Matt Houston didn't start the race, but Godso's going to go lap down here early, unfortunately. Shane Coogan, Dakota DeMay continue to swap the lead out. Sadiq and Van de Sant, Thomas Geisler, who got himself finally a win last season in the finale at Chicagoland. That long-awaited win, a very popular win in this series. Looking to see if he can go back-to-back in, well, 2 different seasons basically here. There's Sebastian Kinder back here, 13th, or Kinder, I should say, 13th position there. Again, appreciate everybody's patience with me. Just long story short, still working some longer hours, and just got home a little late tonight, so apologize for that. Continue to work on that so that we won't have this much during the season. Of course, Saturdays are actually usually my easiest day of them all, but tonight was not so easy in the end. One, because I go on vacation next week, or this week, so I'm off until next Sunday, so here I am. So that means next week's race will have no issues. Knock on wood. So Coogan continuing to swap out the lead, but here comes Sadiq up there, topped about 8 to 10 cars up here in a draft, including Gavin Sanders back there in that 10 car returning for another season. Clean and green so far here in this first 15 laps of this 300-miler at the Virtual Auto Club Speedway here on iRacing. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Of course, these Indy cars, very tricky cars out here on track. A lot of turbulence can be issues, a lot of shifting. A lot of focus is needed when out here on this track. Great racing going on as you see the sun starting to set around this track. Should end under the lights, which is always a really cool setting here at Auto Club Speedway. A lot of different groups up there. You see some 3-wide action. That orange car taking it high on the outside. That is the 82 of Dakota DeMay, one of the cooler paint schemes you're going to see out here. The Sunset Arctic games always bringing some very flashy colors and very fun ones. Of course, this is the second race already today on this track. As earlier today, the Euro season kicked off also with round 1 at Auto Club Speedway here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the results quick enough today. Unfortunately, I was working. There's my excuse for everything. Work, work, work. Of course, the last time we broadcasted an IndyCar race here was the American Open Wheel Racing Series race a couple weeks ago. That race had 1 caution early, and after that, we didn't see a caution the rest of the race. When you can get a field spread out like this is how you get it easily. So far, clean and green here. And almost some contact there, Coogan. And Cohen Evans ripping the high side here. And now up right on cue, caution comes out. And looks like issues for Jim Herrick. Lewis Woodall might be also involved. Damage on both those cars. First caution on the track. And it's going to come here at lap 23 of this opener. You see both cars on pit road. Dakota DeMay going to lead them to the safety car that sits over on the back straightaway here. And probably going to see some pit stops. All right, here we go. Green or caution pit stops as the leaders come to pit road here. You can kind of see the heat, the humidity there on the scoreboard. Look at all the kind of way everything's moving around there. Now Luke Daniels stays out in the 98 car, going to lead himself a lap. That's 4 tires of fuel, everybody. Oh, tight race off pit road. And Van de Sant, I believe, stole the battle off pit road there. Dakota DeMay comes out third right there with Sudik. I'm going to have to get used to not being in a Taco Bell car anymore. Oh, by the way. All right, so we got a quick break in the action here. Let's, I'm going to put the track info up on the screen here for a second, just showing you the Auto Club Speedway as you guys check that out on the screen here for just a moment. While I do that, this is going to give me an opportunity. I'm going to try to make a couple of adjustments on this broadcast real quick here, and we appreciate it by joining us here on the Velocity Online Racing channel here at Captain Esports Network. I'm going to go quiet for just a quick second here, so forgive me. Just about there. To stand by one more second. Just making a couple of adjustments really quickly on the stream here. So appreciate everybody's patience with me. Unfortunately, you know how life can get sometimes. So I do apologize for all that. But the good news is when you got good people like Julian and Robert and the guys who run the show here and stuff, they understand how this all rolls for me and how interesting it can be as the pace car actually is going to pull off right here. We're going to bring the screen back up and go racing. As Alex Van de Sant leads them back to the green. And all the issues are fixed. We're good now. See the pass right there. Sadiq goes back to the front here. This race always has a lot of lead changes. They expect more of the same here this evening. Now, we didn't get chances to show the incident, so let's go back real quickly in here and show the wreck that happened between Woodall and the 40 car of Jim Herrick. Here's Jim up here in the 40. And Woodall's going to slide. Oh, contact. Oh, hard licks for both. Woodall thought he was able to move, and that piece, thank God for the windscreen there. But the 13 and 40 all destroyed. You know, one more time here as they go to turn 3. Woodall just tries to slide up, getting tight in that dirty air. And just misjudges as Herrick had the run there in hard contact. So that was what brought out the caution just a minute ago. As the battle here, Mitchell Riggs making a pass on Craig Forsyth for position. Of course, our cameras tonight, as always, presented by Track Cams 4 Gourmet. You can check them out online, trackcams22.com. Also on Facebook and on the iRacing forums page. Mitchell Riggs in the Apex Sage coaching number 81. A lot of new drivers again in the series this season, some returning. As Nicholas Sudi continues to try to get that first win of his VOR career, as we see some pretty good racing back here amongst DeMay and Gavin Sanders and at VOR number 10. 29 of Coogan also in here. Alex Van de Sande, as we mentioned, winning the championship last season, as we are on board the helmet cam of the one car. Going back to back for the first time in series history. Somebody was able to pull that one off. See Van de Sande running the Alex line, as I like to call that. That line, I remember running plenty of times on this track and watching Alex just run that high side and beat everybody. And it was just like, man, how do you do that? And he just had this secret about the high line. You see him already going to work with it right now. But that's the fun part about this Auto Club Speedway, is it offers so many different groups of racing. We're 34 laps in. Back here, the 14th, Luis Gonzalez Nunez making a return back to the series. Good to see him. 12th position right now in that 14 car, as he runs behind the rookie in the 89, Logan Paxa. Or I say he's not a rookie. I got him mixed up with Jeremy Pronk. Sorry, Logan. But Craig Forsyth in the middle there, that 27 car, that LMC Gear Forsyth throwback paint. Looking back at the Australian mountains, I believe that is. I'm not from California. I'm not good at naming things I shouldn't name them. Here Craig just kind of burping the throttle a little bit as he works his way through 1 and 2. Connor Daly on pit road. Unscheduled pit stop for the 28 car. Everybody's migrating up to the top side now as the handling really comes into play. The light's starting to come on a little bit here. And, of course, that could be tricky because, like the first accident tonight we saw, that brought the caution out for Herrick and for the 13 of Lewis Woodall. Obviously, just one mistake and misjudging coming up the track, and you get carnage. Just about a third distance into this race. We have seen tons of passes for the lead, and right on cue we see another one as Dakota DeMay passing Shane Coogan. Obviously, the more and more you see these guys out here running tracks like Auto Club and, Chicagoland and some of the common tracks, Texas Motor Speedway, amongst others, the more parity you get out of these cars because they get used to running these tracks and they know what to look forward to and what adjustments they got. Back here, some great racing, as I mentioned, with Forsyth and Gavin Sanders, who's fallen back here. Sebastian Kinder's also in here. Thomas Geisler, the winner from Chicagoland virtually, just to name a few. So again, this season, as we broadcast on the Captain Esports Network, you will notice we're here on the VOR Racing channel of YouTube. And that was all part of a deal that was worked out to get streamers over here as part of the VOR channel. Oscar Fredrickson back here in the 12 car with teammate Julian Alterna, the boss man watching tonight. Got Luke Daniels there behind him, the Texas driver. Laps complete. Mitchell Rig. Oh, trouble into the wall goes Cohen Evans hard. And he goes spinning middle of the track. Everybody avoiding. Oh, that was a hard lick with the right front. And the second caution is out. That 17's destroyed. Cohen, unfortunately, not had the best of luck lately. Didn't have really good luck last season, and it continues here tonight. And looked like a good start, running up in the top 5 earlier in this race. The LMC gear member, unfortunately, the second, just gets in the back. I don't know if there was a checkup or something there, or and the 17 destroyed the second LMC gear car, easy for me to say. All beaten up. I'm going to go on board with him here and see if he just misjudged maybe here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they check up, and he just... Unfortunate deal there. Ouch. Caution out, and here come the leaders to pit road. And race off pit road. After Luke Daniels stays out, going to be won by Shane Cogan. So once again, Luke kind of pulling a super speedway strategy, I'm noticing tonight. And when I say that, Luke, one that will run oval cars too. And it seems like he's out here just leading laps here while everybody pits and then comes back to pit road and stays in the back a little bit. So again, second caution out. Luke Daniels out here in the front now in that 98 car, that black, red, and white. So as we are under this second caution, we showed you a little bit ago the track information of this Auto Club Speedway, virtually on iRacing as you're watching tonight. There it is again, 2-mile track with 15 degrees of banking. Of course, this will be one of the last times we'll get to run this. Of course, the short track is going to be eventually set on here. Fuel window 40 laps, 6 sets of tires. You get 14 incident points before you're disqualified. Last season, 52 lead changes. We're working towards that again, which means 52 passes at the line, oh, by the way. And Alex Van de Sant won that race. Now, earlier today, we had the Euro season kickoff, and that was a 100-lap, 200-mile race at Auto Club Speedway. And next week, next week, they'll go to the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix course. That'll be next week before they take a week off and head to Spa to run that track. And, of course, the schedule this season here is going to see an interesting date next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Going to run the old, I guess we'll call it, configuration now. The 1.54 worn-out banking Atlanta Motor Speedway, 162 laps and 250 miles there before we go to Motegi for 2 races. The Long Beach Grand Prix Streets in February 19th for that one. And in March, we go to Richmond. That'll be an interesting one. The Indy Bike Course, the Speedway, of course, the Milwaukee Mile, the streets of Detroit, Nashville Super Speedway, and the Homestead Miami Speedway. So there's a couple of schedules here for you as part of the series. And the pace car going to hang a left, and we'll go back racing here. Lap number 47, hitting the 1/3 distant mark, and Luke Daniels staying out this time with teammate Shane Coogan there behind him, Nicholas Sudik, Dakota DeMay, and Logan Patsa, the Canadian driver, in 5th. Should mention the rookie Riley Baldwin out of the race, unfortunately, on lap 41. So 17 cars now left on track in this race. Unfortunately, the first 2 cautions taken out 2 of the LMC guys, which is very unfortunate for those guys. A bunch of good and very nice drivers to talk to over there. Of course, I've enjoyed racing, and I got to run actually a Le Mans 24-hour race with those guys once. They actually gave me the honor to join them. It was really cool. So it's always kind of a unfortunate and disappointing deal when you see those guys have some trouble. As we got one car coming off pit road. Is that Cohen coming back on track? It is. Cohen Evans somehow got that right front fixed. Mitchell Riggs running the fastest lap last time by at 32:17. Of course, one of the cool things this season about broadcasting on the Velocity Online Racing YouTube channel is the fact that you can actually catch the race pretty much as soon as it's over with. It'll post on the stream or on the YouTube page, and you'll be able to watch right there in case you join us late in the broadcast down the road or whatever. You'll be able to catch all the streams right here on the VOR channel. Of course, thanks to Julian for allowing me to have the access here and as part of the Captain Esports Network. We watch everybody cycle around the draft, playing a role in this race. Luke Daniels falling back to the 5th position now behind Sudik and Shane Coogan. Not sure how much that has to do with fresh tires or maybe strategy with saving some fuel. Wonder if the team engineer for Luke Daniels' number 98 car said, hey, why don't you stay out here? We can save some fuel and not have to pit here necessarily. All 17 cars on the lead lap within 4.2 seconds right now, the lead. As again, you continue to see the old switcheroo. And what kind of shocks me a little bit here is how you're not seeing the leader run the bottom a little bit more. And I wonder if that's because the top groove is the way to go, so it leaves the open bottom for passes to happen. If that's the case, why not try to, if you're the leader, to run the bottom? You got the clean air, shortest way around. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it eats up tires. I'm just kind of thinking from a logical standpoint there, and maybe it's not logical to do that. Either way, 55 laps in the books. We're back here in the 15th position. One end it roared up to the front, but since then has fallen back into the 11th position after starting 16th. Gavin Sanders. Not sure if he just doesn't have the speed or if he's just kind of being patient, letting this race run to him as it is 300 miles long. Oh, one car scraped the wall there off 4. That was the rookie Pronk, I think, that got the wall. .57 laps in the books already. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. If you get a chance, give these guys a subscribe here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Of course, they have multiple series that you'll see here, including an 05 series, which runs the old IndyCar. Was it the Delara? I believe is what that one is. I just struggled to say the word Delara for some reason. Don't know why. There it is, the rookie Pronk. Ninth position for him. Here the shifting going on a little early on that shift down to 5th. I was like, ooh, that was kind of high rev, but he knows what he's doing. I don't. I'm just why I'm in the broadcast booth all the time. You can definitely see where these cars are starting to slide up to the track. It's like the beginning of the run, the bottom's the way to go, and then it goes up the track mid-run. Alex Van de Sant, the winner from last season, trying to get the 9th position from the 52 car. Cohen Evans back to pit road there, so unfortunately something not fully right with that 17 car. Bronk does a pretty good job, but also somebody doing a great job for this white and blue number 89 of Logan Paxa. Logan started in the 15th position, up to third right now in this red, white, and blue VOR car. Julian and Gavin out here running together. How about Cameron Bostain back there, the 86 car? The Texas paint scheme, running in the 13th position. Luke Daniels has fallen all the way back now to 14th, another Texas driver there. There's the Chicagoland winner, Thomas Geisler. It wrapped up the season. Alex Van de Sant winning the season, or winning the championship, and Geisler just absolutely destroyed the field in that last race. I mean, he led the most laps, came through the field twice with pit strategy, and there was no doubt that night that he was the fastest. Right, 27 maybe scraped the wall a little bit, but that might have been more of a net code type of damage. Getting reports, thank you Gabrielle for checking in. The 52 car, Pronk, with a little bit of nose damage. Let's actually jump down there on the front nose and see if we can find it. That's not the front nose, Scala. That's, well, close. There's the nose. Yeah, worst case, you always check there. Pretty cool looking paint scheme right there in that 52 car. I see how abrasive this track is at 2 miles. Luke Daniels on pit road, scheduled pit stop here for the leader who actually stayed out at that caution. 4 tires and fuel. Do not want to make a mistake on your first green flag pit stop of the season. Good clean stop there for the 98. Back up here at the lead, there's the 87. Sadiq and Coogan, if you want to call it combined, to lead the most laps so far tonight, as they've been swapping the lead left and right all night. Dakota DeMaid had his share up there, and of course Paxa now running third position, just kind of running his own race up there at the top groove. Watching Van de Sant roll the bottom here. He is Mr. Pole Sitter, as we like to call him, or he likes to call himself. Dakota DeMay does a great job usually winning the poles at this kind of race, but tonight it was Coogan and Van de Sant that got the front row. And of course, what was very fast speeds. So again, next Saturday night, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Going to be a very interesting race. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of draft, but Atlanta almost is worn out. Actually, to be exact, it is 4 years older on iRacing when it comes to the surface than this track is. Of course, this track was paved back in when it originally opened. No, I'm sorry, I am wrong. It was both in 1997. So they are both about the same age. So you're going to see similar racing on a 1.54 mile track next week. There's Julian Alterna. Julian running up here in the 9th position right now. Started in 21st. A little close for comfort from my cameras. Got to give Julian a lot of credit. He has been hard at work. He and Robert Sadler, who you're not seeing tonight, but I'm sure is watching here on the stream, if not working hard himself or working on whatever he's got to do, of course, personally. But credit to both of them. Matt Houston, I believe, puts a lot of effort into this. Gary Godso, all the admins that help get this VOR league successful. Congratulations to all of them in what is the beginning of a 6th season. And what I believe is the 3rd on the Captain Esports Network. I can't remember exactly how many I've done now. Then again, with a little bit of tiredness and not even remembering what day it is right now, I'm not going to remember many things. Look at this. Luis Gonzalez Nunez starting to creep his way up into the picture here in his 14 car. He's gone past DeMay, who's starting to fall back a little bit here as we just passed the halfway point. If you're new to watching open wheel racing like this is what it's all about. This is what makes it fun. I've myself have really enjoyed broadcasting IndyCar races, even racing in them as much as I can. You know, they're definitely very challenging, but very fun, especially if you have the patience to learn the handling and specifics about this car. Forsyth and Riggs battling it out here, 9th position. Forsyth trying, whoa, easy back there. Pronk about got the outside wall. See Sanders back there battling with Bostaine. Should be getting ready for green flag pit stops potentially coming up here as we complete 78 laps. They were on pit road lap 45 last time by, which is about 34 laps. Of course, according to our track info just a little bit ago, 40 is the max they feel you can get around this track at. I'm with you, Gabriel. Forgive me if I get that wrong. Try to be respectful to everybody. But no, man, it's fun. I know, like, obviously where you're from, it's obviously about the Formula One cars and stuff, and that's with respect, obviously. Those cars are a whole nother monster. So Sudik and Coogan continue to swap out the lead here. I got about 4/10 over Logan Paxa. Alex Van de Sant, Thomas Geisler, your top 5 here. And right on cue, here comes Sudik, the pit road. Alex Van de Sant's going to come with him. You'll see down at the bottom, Forsyth on pit road, also Sanders. So you'll see the white numbers. That is the total time on pit road. The red, where you see pit flashing on the screen, that'll change to a number, and what that will be is the pit time for that driver. So we'll watch the champion's pit stop here. Yeah, I do want to correct myself. I did mention earlier that Sudik, or that Van de Sant was the pole sitter. It was actually Sudik who is the pole sitter. So congratulations to Nick on winning the pole. And you see the stop for Van de Sant, 9.7. Great stop there. I've had my times of enjoying F1 racing. And unfortunately, especially what happened here at the end of last season, it was like I thought maybe I'd give it another chance, and then the stuff happened with, it's like you make the wrong step or something in the paddock, you get penalized anymore. But no, GT racing is fun. I know over there, of course, across the pond, a lot of big GT races. One that comes with, you got the Spa race, of course, 24-hour race there, and so on and so forth. As Geisler, Kinder, Alterna, Bostaine, and Moreira to pit road. And now Dakota DeMay and Mitchell Riggs coming to pit road. So right at lap 86 here, green flag pit stops. Going to make it a one-stop race to get to the finish, it looks like. Gabriel, what part of Europe are you in, bud? So look at this. Going back to the pit stops when they first started, Alex Van de Sant was one of the first on pit road. Look at this. Because of that 9.7 second stop and the way he was able to get in and out of pit road, he now has a 1 second lead over Sudik. So he jumped over both the top, 3 cars? And now leads by 8/10 over Sudik. So a great pit stop by Van de Sant. This is why he's a 2-time champion now in this series. He shows the potential he has each and every week. 2:30 in the morning over in the Netherlands right now. So I'm guessing that Gabriel must know Julian. One of the rare people that know Julian. Well, then again, we all know Julian, technically. Back here, Logan Paxa going to get passed by Gonzalez Nunez, who has slowly just matriculated his way to the front. Geisler back there with him. Dakota May just went purple with a 32.15. Friends of Prunk, so another Netherlands driver, right? Is that, correct me if I'm wrong. Yep, Netherlands, that's the flag. I look up at Julian. That's cool to see. I really enjoy the camaraderie of drivers being from different countries and that kind of thing. I'm not the biggest open wheel guy. As Prunk or Pox almost got the wall there. Julian's got him twisted already. I'm kidding, obviously. But, no, I grew up an oval guy, a stock car guy. So, obviously, you listen to my terminology and stuff, you're going to think I'm calling a NASCAR race or something. But I've enjoyed calling these IndyCar races. I've learned a lot about them. Obviously, I watch them all on TV. And, you know, it's definitely been one to learn. And one of these days, if I ever get caught up with DVRs and stuff like that, I might actually go back in time and watch some old IndyCar races from back in the day and just kind of watch the history of it. As Van de Sant continues to lead, Sudik now and Shane Coogan. Gavin Sanders, and there's Julian Alterna right there in front of him. Mitchell Riggs in front of these guys, about 3 seconds up. As a matter of fact, there's Mitchell. As this is the part of the race where I wondered if we ever got to it. The green flag runs now, starting to shape themselves up. And as the field gets spread out, I think the strategy more comes into play here because the chances of seeing a yellow grow slim. I say that as Gonzalez Nunez and Coogan and Paxa and Geisler and all these guys battle it out right now. See what kind of speeds they're running here with a little bit of tire wear. 213 miles an hour right now. Speeds of nearly 230 miles an hour. Of course, the all-time closed circuit lap, Gilles de Ferran ran here at a 241 mile an hour average speed. You want to talk ludicrous speed? I think I want to say that's close to, do the math on that, probably close to 40 seconds flat, if not a 39. So Van de Sant and Coogan just, I can't talk all of a sudden, continue to swap the lead. And it's these pack of cars here of about, 5 deep. Obviously not really playing a fuel strategy right now as we're easily within the window for everybody to go one to go. So everybody probably going hard right now, not worrying about a fuel number. Some enjoy that, some don't. Bronk has fallen back to the 13th position now. Oscar Fredrickson some 10 seconds back in the 12 car. He's got Luke Daniels there behind him. These guys are probably going to need another yellow if they're going to have a chance to get up here and compete for a win. Two-thirds distance. I'm anxious to see, unfortunately, with the technology here, I've got a lot of stats and things I can work with. One, and unfortunately, I'm still trying to get SDK Gaming, who, shout out to them for doing awesome work with the ticker and stuff that you see on the screen. Don't have laps led yet. I cannot see how many laps people have led, how many lead changes and stuff like that, unfortunately. That's something hopefully I can work on. But here's your top three right now as these guys continue to fight it out. Sudik been trying to get that illustrious first win. Shane Coogan also trying to do the same. They come up on Cameron Bostain, the 86 car, and also the 26 of Dan Marrera. He's up here a little bit more with the pack of cars. Oh, a little bit of sliding going on. One car went sideways. Dan Marrera had to go up the track and avoid. Connor Daly in the 19. Now, I'll have to investigate this. I do not think this is the Connor Daly that runs IndyCar because he has one N in his name. So, but Connor had a glove save and a beauty just now. And I'm sure scared to, you know what's out of, he's scared to Happy Trails chili mix out of Alex Van de Sant. As these guys continue to swap out the lead. A reminder again, next Saturday night here on the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar channel, we will be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for round number 2. Hampton, Georgia, about an hour and a half southwest of where I live. Check on the pack back here, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. They continue to fight it out. Haven't had a chance to talk about Sebastian Kinder much. Here he is in the 97. You will never miss the 97 car. As a matter of fact, don't see his teammate out here tonight. The 39, I think usually James Watson. Got some pretty flamboyant colors on these cars normally. Now these guys have started to reel in the leaders a little bit. It is down under 3 seconds, where Thomas Geisler, of course, now goes back up over 3 seconds. But as these guys work the draft, if they can carry the speed and keep the handling going, and the leaders keep battling, there's a chance. You never know. So the window opens up right now for fuel. Per the stats that we saw a little bit ago, if 40 laps is the window, we got 40 laps to go right now. Question is, when do you want to come to pit road? Do you take the chance? Do you try to short pit and trying to get some clean air out there and try to undercut some people? It's a chance that you could take. Or do you just run this thing as far as you can and say lap 120 to 125? You come to pit road, get the last set of tires you're going to need and fuel, and finish off the last 25 laps. As the VOR teammates battle it out. And here's Luke Daniels on pit road. Here's the start of that strategy, I believe, right here. Is it a winning strategy? Maybe not so much. But it can help steal some positions, maybe. Luke, a longer pit stop here. Uh-oh. Speeding on pit road. Teammates here continue to do the old switcheroo back here for 10th. Luke finally leaving pit road, 49 seconds spent in his stall there. That is definitely the penalty you do not want. Usually a 9-second pit stop and then 40 sitting there, and that's the speeding penalty for entrance. Of course, they do have a limiter that you hit, but you're trying to get your all coming to pit road, and if you get too much, you will get clocked for speeding. Six laps to go. Alex Van de Sande, he and Sudik been swapping the lead. Of course, they've kind of gotten away from Shane Coogan now by 1 second. And right now we're watching this battle 4 through 6 now. As this pack really now starts to open up, the handling opening up, and that spreads this field out. More and more, of course, the longer the run goes and we get green flag pit stops. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to happen for Luke with the pit stop penalty, but I will share he is running the fastest laps on the track right now by about 2/10. So what could have been, unfortunately, for him. And here comes a little bit of a short fill, potentially. Forsyth coming to pit road. Also Dan Morera. So here we go with the short fills, potentially. rare with some different colors on that number 26 car. Little be known that, yes, that is criminal outfits his pit crew are wearing. .5 and 8.9 for those cars. So who is going to pull the strategy off here and be able to get this win tonight? And what has been a fun race here in this round number 1, season 6 of the Apex Sage coaching IndyCar series for Velocity Online Racing. Of course, you can follow Apex Sage on Twitter. It's a coaching school that helps you, those who might be rookies out here in open wheel cars or road course racing. Isaac Morse gets you out there and show you some tricks of his own and stuff like that, and get you fully prepared to get out here with these guys and get on the track and put on a good show. All right, Sadiq is going to be the first to pit road out of the leaders. Locks him up. You wonder how much pressure's on him after the one had such a great entrance and exit to pit road here. You wonder if he's trying to nail his marks now. Tires and fuel, 8.9 for Nick. And here comes Van de Sande right behind him. Gonna try to protect the undercut here. Four tires and fuel, and 8.6 for Alex. As Coogan goes by looking for Sadiq. He's about 3 seconds back right now. There's Geisler, there's Sadiq right there, the blue and purple car. As Alterna and Paxa come to pit road. Also Shane Coogan. And big time Van de Sande back to the front. As of right now, let's see though if these guys can jump him. Ooh, Shane gets a little bit of wheel spin there. That can always be cost worthy. You got to be careful of that. Geisler leaving pit road, so is Kinder. And now Dakota DeMay leading with Mitchell Riggs in second. As we cross over the 250-mile mark. Something else to think about as I break this down in my head. So an hour and 15 minutes. What does it take an hour and 15 minutes to get to where you live? For me, it's to Atlanta. So from here to downtown Atlanta is about an hour to an hour and 15, depending on traffic. These guys just went 250 miles in an hour and 15 minutes. It's pretty wild when you think about it. So Oscar Fredrickson leading right now in the 12th car. He will be the last of the leaders to come to pit road. The lows on the lead lap, I should say. And here he comes right now. And that'll cycle around to Van de Sant and Sadiq, who continue to play the old switcheroo. They have now 5 seconds over Gonzalez Nunez. So we have to wonder what happened to Logan Paxa to hurt his pit stop. And as I look over at some of the pit times right now, of course, Van de Sant was about almost 2 seconds quicker than Sadiq was on pit road time. Shane Coogan had 43.3, so he was just as good. Gonzalez Nunez had a good time on pit road. Logan Paxa, a 44-second pit stop. That's going to hurt. So that just shows you how much these pit stops are very important, how you can get in, get out, into your pit stall, and executed. Yeah, this is a simulator where you race the closest to real life, but it just shows you how every little thing in a race is so crucial. You get to Germany in an hour. There you go. I can almost get to the South Carolina state line in an hour. Be close. So your top two continue to battle it out. Then you got 4th and 5th, also 6th and 7th here in this pack. All right, it's actually 3rd, 4th, and Dakota DeMay is in this pack also. And back here in the 8th position, you got Mitchell Riggs running out here on his own a little bit. There's Gavin Sanders in the 9th position now, and of course his teammate Julian Alterna there behind him. Forsyth in the 11th position. Jeremy Pronk running 12th. Sebastian Kinder and Oscar Fredrickson, the last of the 14 cars on the lead lap with 20 laps to go. Cameron Bostein coming to pit road. Who is going to win the opening race here tonight? Lights are on now. What has been the transition from daylight to nighttime? And one of the more familiar scenes that you see on iRacing in the open car realm is a race at Auto Club Speedway. I want to say out of all the races, Indianapolis and here are probably the two most I've called. And Pocono is probably a close third. Road course wise, I'd have to say Road America leads that battle. So you see the leaders have gone by the lap car of Oscar Fredrickson in the 12. Now it's just going to become a matter of who stays in front. As, looked like Sadiq maybe lost the nose a little bit there. So 15 laps to go. Who's going to be the one that pulls it off here? Oh, Sadiq got really close to the wall there. That could have been bad. We continue to show you all the great battles out here on the track this evening. Now, the one thing we have not had a chance to show you tonight, we want to get this out to let you see it, is this, the 2005 schedule. Now, this is the old Indy cars on iRacing. They, of course, started their season earlier today, also at Homestead Miami Speedway, 125-lapper. They're under the lights. They'll run the old Phoenix International Raceway. Now, this 2005 schedule, here's the trick about this. It's all the tracks on the 05 IndyCar schedule is how they're running this. So we see Homestead, you see the old Phoenix, Indianapolis, of course, Texas Motor Speedway, the old track, Richmond, Nashville, the old Michigan, the old Kentucky, Iowa, because, well, you can't do Pikes Peak on here because there's no Pikes Peak. And then here at Auto Club Speedway for the final race of the season. How cool Pikes Peak would be on here, by the way. So two guys look like are going to settle it out unless something wild happens here in the next 11 laps. You see Coogan and Gonzalez, they've separated themselves out, third and fourth. Geisler and Paxa, fifth and sixth, and they got DeMay there on their rear, or on their, there's the terminology there, the rear end. Actually, should I say the gearbox? So when these leaders, the question now I got to ask is, when do you start not playing the whole passing game with each other? Sometimes you got to live in the past. Especially those cars back in the day, the Indy cars back in 2005 and stuff when they were the old V8 engines. Some of the best IndyCar racing on ovals you'll ever see back then, and with the pack racing. I mean, you were watching almost any time they went to a Texas or a Chicagoland or a Kansas or whatever, you saw some of the best finishes you will ever see in racing. Now, in response, they do say that America is always behind. Seven laps to go. Continuing to watch both battles here as these guys swap the lead back and forth. These guys continue to fight back here. Now the 82, that orange car in the bottom, the 16 in the middle there, those two are actual teammates as part of the Sunset Arctic Games team. So you know they're going to be very careful racing around each other. The wild card is that 89 car back behind them. And I don't mean wild as in like out of control. I mean wild as in what's he going to do? Where will he finish when it's all said and done? Five laps to go. We move back here to the front. You know the tension is really starting to build. As a matter of fact, it already is. Look at this. They've been side by side down the back straightaway here. It's not so much of the whole switcheroo happening anymore. These two are coming to draft, and they're coming to fight now. How bad does Sadiq want that first win? Oh, he almost left the bottom open. There's a little bit of defensive move. Nothing wrong with that. He did it before. Sadiq made a move, so it's not considered a block. That's the one key thing about this. If Sadiq makes the move and Alex reacts, then it becomes a block. And then that would be a violation of rules, so you got to be very careful with this. 2 laps to go. Nicholas Sadiq, who's been up front all race long, and Alex Van de Sande, who used pit strategy to jump to the front about 60 laps ago, sees the white flag, and these two are going to fight it out at Auto Club. Real close to each other into 3. Off turn 4, the drag race is on. And across the line, Sadiq has got it. Nicholas Sadiq scores the opening win. You know Van de Sande's going to be disappointed in that. But at the same time, I know the words out of Alex's mouth is going to be how classy that racing was. It was clean, nothing wrong with it at all. Back for third, Shane Coogan got Gonzalez Nunez by 1/10, or I'm sorry, 1/100th. The Ohio DDR sponsor Turn 4 Racing Mobile. Maybe Taco Bell was the bad luck. I don't know. That Taco Bell in his car every time. Until now. New colors and goes to victory lane finally. As he paces, let's show you the final results here. Sadiq wins it over Van de Sande by 44 1/1000ths of a second. You can't snap your fingers that quick. Coogan gets Gonzalez Nunez by 6 1/1000ths. We'll have to watch that finish. Geisler, DeMay, Paxa finished in 7th. Mitchell Riggs, Gavin Sanders, Julian Alterna top 10 for him. Forsyth, Kinder, Pronk, Fredrickson, Morera, Luke Daniels, Cameron Boston, Gary Godso finishing 18th. And the rest of the field, Connor Daly 19th, Cohen Evans 20th, Riley Baldwin 21st, 22nd, Jim Herrick, Lewis Woodall 23rd, and Matt Houston did not start the race. We'll go back to the checkered flag here. Let's watch this fight. This is for the third position behind the leaders. And just like the lead battle, the outside line came to it. And bam, like that. That was close. And then back here, look at this. The teammates going side by side to the finish. Let's talk to the top three as they get in here. I'll jump into the chat myself. They're probably like, where's Scala at? I'm a tricky one like that. Popping. There I am in channel. And we'll wait on third place to get in. But right now we'll talk to our runner-up here, Alex Van de Sant, the champ. Unfortunately comes up 44 one-thousandths of a second short of another victory at Auto Club Speedway. What more can you say? Classy racing. Obviously, you guys raced it clean. What could you have done different?
Yeah, that was awesome. Maybe you could have attacked a little later, or figured out some tools that would have helped me hold the bottom better. Because he was Nick was very generous those last few laps. Giving me space on the bottom, so I was able to open up the entry a lot. But then that last lap, he just held me low, and not much I could do there through 3 and 4. But it was fun though. It was a blast. I wasn't sure if that strategy would work or not. It was going to be kind of a roll of the dice, but just needed to stay ahead in case a caution came out at the end. So happy to take second. It was a blast racing with Nick as always. So yeah.
How big? We gotta go back 2 stops ago. Was that pit stop to jump you from 4th up to 1st and be able to make this what became a 2-car battle?
Oh, that was great. Yeah. I think it was my entry. I was just maybe braver on the brakes because I pit at the same time as Nick, and by the time we got to the pit the pit entry, I had completely cleared him. So I assume the later stop as well I was also strong there. So that was big. It also helped getting I came out in traffic, so I was able to get a bit of a draft that got me up to speed quicker, and that I think Nick had the same thing too, and that allowed us to jump ahead. And Shane was able to hang on for a bit, but I think he just dropped off at the end of that middle or second to last run.
How nerve-wracking is it to have that high line? Everybody's up there, and it's like you're playing follow the leader up top the whole time. And I know in mid-pack that's got to be nerve-wracking, considering it just makes one mistake that's out of your control for somebody to slide into you.
Yeah, it's just here. It's just about guessing where the guy in front's going to go and putting your car where they're not. I was able to make the bottom work really well, especially really late in the run. Kind of middle, in the middle of the runs, it would kind of go away and it'd just be too tight off the corner. But later on, I found some tools that really worked to help me get that run off the corner, hold it low so I'd have that clean air. Because I made that mistake in the pits, that last yellow stop, and that put me at the back of the pack, so I had to get up there the hard way, and it worked out.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations on your P2 finish as you continue to defend both championships now, 2 in a row. Going for the three-peat tonight, or the start of the three-peat, I should say. Congrats and shout-outs as always.
Big thanks as always to lmcgear.com. My teammates, Craig, Cohen, and Jim. They had some issues this race, but Craig was able to hang in there and finish the race, so that was good. And then as well, Happy Trails Chili Company. It's available on Amazon still. Perfect season for that. And thanks to you for putting on another season of awesome broadcasts.
Absolutely, my man. Well, thanks for your time, brother. Have a good rest of the season. We'll talk soon, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks, Chris.
How about you too? That there is Alex Van de Sant, your Second place finisher tonight. I've not seen Shane Coogan pop in here yet, so let's. We've already talked to Alex. I don't know why I just dragged him up accidentally. Let's get Sudik up here. The winner, finally to victory lane, my man.
What happened? I blacked out. I don't know what happened.
Well, you know what it is? It's the different colors on the car. You took Taco
my
Bell off, and you're in victory lane.
God. Yeah, no, I had, and I did this for the ERL 500 a couple months ago. I wanted to represent like the rhythm game community from Ohio that I love, as well as obviously Turn 4 racing and everything. So yeah, I told you I was gonna come back with a cute little car, and here we are.
Hey, cute sometimes doesn't win things, but it won you this one tonight, man. Talk about the strategy there and how you were able to hold off Alex. Sorry.
So pretty much it was just Alex and I were just actually talking about it earlier. We were doing some testing for the road before the 24 earlier. And we were just talking about how the race kind of just went to swap drafting, and I never thought about it, but like after that penultimate set of pit stops, it was just him and I think Shane was barely clinging on. And so I was just in my head, like no DMs or anything. We just started swapping back and forth. I hung back a little bit while Shane was there, just to kind of not overheat the tires, anything like that, because the dirty air is really bad here.
Right.
And I don't know if Shane got tight from traffic or what happened, but Shane dropped off. And then I just went with Alex, had a great last pit stop. And then it was just about 5-6 laps to go. We were going to fight. I had way more fuel than I should have had. I think I had end plate damage too, from just tapping the wall early on. Maybe a mile per hour or two. But, and yeah, I just was testing the runs. And so I just figured, hey, if I could drop down, use the banking a little bit, get some momentum, I might have a shot at it. Sure enough, I was able to clear, and then I just hung on for dear life. At that
worked
point,
out, man. You did your thing, man. Congratulations on that, and shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, definitely the Ohio DDR community, Ohio rhythm game community, for letting me just carry the colors for them. I always wish my partner Kelsey well, who's right next to me. And Turn 4 Racing, Cam had a little bit of a rough race. Cameron Bastian had a little bit of a rough race. Alex for giving me the race of my life and pushing me to a level I don't think I've ever been on a super speedway. And yeah, you yourself, Chris, for broadcasting again this season as well too. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, my man. Great job on the win. Go celebrate.
Woo!
There we go. Congratulations to Nick on the win. Let's get our third place finisher. Got him, Shane Coogan. Great race for you, Shane. Obviously, you ran up there up front, and needless to say, that win's coming.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. It was it was a good race out there. It was a little tired after that one. We were just chatting, but yeah, it was a good run. The car was very aero sensitive, so it was definitely a race where you wanted to lead if you could, but it was obviously very difficult to lead. But yeah, had fun out there and just didn't quite work out, but we'll take third.
What was missing tonight, especially with those pit stops? Seemed like Alex and Nick were just able to get away.
Yeah, that was it. I think definitely enjoyed the long race runs, but I think it was really the last green flag pit stop was the killer. I think just a little too conservative on pit entry, just trying not to get that speeding penalty, and lost about 3 or 4 seconds there. And at that point, that was it for the win. But I think, good racing up front, and shout out to all the drivers in VOR.
Well, great job tonight, man. Shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, shout out to Team Raceverse. Thanks to Matt, Dakota, Thomas. It's always great to have them. And shout out to VOR, any friends, family watching, Western Waves Media, and Team Raceverse with Sunset Arctic Games. And we'll see you guys at the next one.
Absolutely, bud. Nice job tonight. Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Shane Coogan finishing into third position tonight as we wrap up here from the Auto Club Speedway, the opening race here on the Velocity Online Racing YouTube page. Appreciate everybody for joining us here. Of course, we'll be here all season long on this specific channel for VOR Racing from the Captain Esports Network. And we're looking forward to what's coming up in the future. Of course, next week will be the Atlanta Motor Speedway for round number 2. 162 laps and 250 miles around that 1.54 mile quad oval racetrack with, well, put it like this, the surface is as old as this one. So should see some pretty fun racing on that track. So looking forward to that. And appreciate everybody for watching tonight. Appreciate Julian and Robert and everybody from VOR for allowing us to be a part of the series. Of course, Apex Age Coaching, the sponsor of the series. So as always, I like to say, remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!